What's Good podcast.
Your number one source.
To all the keys in the industry.
With Brianna Jovahn.
It's the What's Good podcast.
What's good?
Hey, ladies and gents, this is your girl, Brianna Jovahn, and we are here with another episode of What's Good podcast. We are doing another Wildcard Wednesday. Today, we have two ladies with us, Karen Sroka and Maria Williams. How are you?
We're doing amazing. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show. So as you guys know, we do not have interviews. We have genuine conversations. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before we get started, I do want to get more information about you, Karen, and also Maria. Whoever wants to start first, tell us a little about you and your business.
Go ahead, Maria.
Sure. I am a native Colombian. When I came to the US, it was always my dream to join the Navy. I have that opportunity. And at the Navy, for me was that opportunity to see, um, opened doors open. And one of those open doors were the possibility to engage in entrepreneurship, even though it didn't happen r- like after 10 years or so. It was always that possibility. um, you mentioned that what my business is about. So our business is a consumer packaged good business where we specialize in crafting sugarcane honey sweeteners and also granola cookies and jams. And our product is natural. We work with farmers in Colombia, and the idea is to bring from the farm to the table to the consumers here in the US our products.
How about you, Karen?
I'm Karen Sroka, and I am the founder and CEO of MyScratchOffs. We are an excitement marketing company, and we're an excitement entertainment company, being that we supply custom scratch-off cards for businesses and other organizations for events. But we also have a ready-made line of scratch-offs that do very well on our different marketplaces like Amazon and such. That are ready made for parents, teachers, event planners, moms, grandparents, things like that.
Awesome. Alrighty. So I know you mentioned a lot of excitement. What does a typical day look like for you?
So, being the CEO and founder, my primary job is a lot on the financial side, and I do a lot of data, like looking at all the data, whether that's our financial side on the QuickBooks side, or whether that's different data that comes in from all of our marketplaces. We do have a couple different ways that we look, whether it's Google Analytics or some of our other software that looks up at the advertising that we do and how that's performing, what are the greatest keywords that are performing. So that's a big part of it. I do have a staff of 5. It's managing the day-to-day operations for our production side of things. I do have a production manager who does a lot of the day-to-day operations as well, and I oversee that, as well as being the creative executive. So I kind of oversee all of the designs that come in. We do have a graphic designer on staff, and I just kind of go over all the designs with him before they're finalized for print or to a customer.
Awesome. And how about you, Maria? I know you mentioned that you have a physical product. You also have partners in Colombia. What does a typical day of work look like for you?
Yes, so it is around a blend of strategic planning, a little bit of operations, and customer engagement. Usually start checking emails and, of course, trying to fight fires. And then the remainder of the day is a mix of meetings, always product development. We are getting ready to launch our granola cookies next month, and it's working on that. And also concentrating on marketing activities and, of course, the financial management that you cannot get away with.
I know.
Sounds busy, busy. So, of course, with all the day-to-day operations, and sometimes you can have your highs, you can have your lows, but what inspires you to keep going, to continue to do the business? Being CEOs, anything can be thrown at us, but you're still here. So, what inspires you to continue on and do your business?
For me, I would say the strongest women in my life, and my grandma. She recently passed away, and she was the pillar of the family, and she's instilled on all of us, these values of hard work, resilience, and being determined. And of course, then having the support of my family, the friends, and all the mentors. So all the people that keep telling you, don't give up. It's just gonna get better. It's all these people pretty much supporting us, and seeing the commitment from my sister, from my husband. He's fully committed to this, and seeing his resilience, and he's the biggest cheerleader. So I would say definitely all this ecosystem of people around me.
I love that.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely my daughters. I have two daughters. My youngest is 16 and my oldest is 19. They're definitely an inspiration that keeps me going. But another inspiration for me personally is that I have a very, very unique company. I have a unique product, and I'm constantly being told, why didn't I think of that? So I like being the company owner where people are always saying, why didn't I think of that?
I'm excited to ask this. What is one unique thing about your business compared to all the other competitors out there? What is one unique thing you bring to your industry?
For me specifically, we pay attention to all of our customers and what they're asking for, and we don't have bots responding. We respond as a person personally to everybody. Our customer service is top notch. We've always been that way. We actually just turned 16 years old yesterday. And
Congrats.
that's always been one of the best feedbacks for us is that we provide the top notch customer service that you're not getting from a lot of other companies anymore.
Nice. How about you, Maria?
And that is inspirational to hear that from Karen, right? My husband always mentions when we go to farmers markets to tell people, hey, if you call us, it's not going to be a bot who's going to respond. It's going to be one of us, and people appreciate that. Yeah, so it is exciting for me to hear that for somebody like Karen who has been doing this 16 years, and we just started. Uh, Embedding that in the DNA of the organization is super important. Even though we are so young, keeping that in mind, customer service is the most important thing. I think that's going to help us continue differentiating aside from being a natural product as well.
Awesome. All right, so let's get into the Veterans Women's Enterprise Center. What made you join this organization? And give us a little bit more behind, like, as far as your backstory of how the partnership has benefited you.
So I had the opportunity to meet Miss VR through SCORE. I was in need of a mentor to understand and improve my business plan and to start cleaning up my finances. And I had the privilege, I would say, to be a pair up with Miss VR, and then started that conversation. And of course, CEO VWEC of the Veteran Women Enterprise Center, she mentioned, we have all these programs. You can check us out, and that's how I started visiting the Comerica Business HQ where she has her office. They have been an incredible support system. The mentorship, as I mentioned, having the opportunity through SCORE, but then directly with her, the networking opportunities, all the access to resources, all have been like super critical for our growth and moving forward as well. So definitely their focus on empowering women veterans aligns with our mission to create a supportive community of entrepreneurs. And it's a privilege to be part of that community as well.
Nice. How about you, Karen?
So mine came a little bit different because I'm in Illinois and I've been working with the US Commercial Services for many years now. My agent, Warren Anderson, happened to get an email talking about the VWEC. and I'm his only women veteran client. So immediately he sent me the email about the ITC, the International Trade Cohort, saying, "Hey, you would qualify for this. Maybe you should try to do this." So started doing some research on the VWEC and everything that they're doing with Comerica, and went ahead and devoted myself to pitch for this competition. And it's been amazing since. VR is a wealth of knowledge. The VWEC is a wealth of resources, whether that's like she was saying, in that kind of that counterpart of, mentor mentee type of a relationship, or other resources that we need, US commercial services, financial education. She's excellent at getting the information to us.
Beautiful. So, what is one experience you can share with us?
Well, the ITC is my first experience with the VWEC, and it's been constant for communication. We communicate pretty often through email, of course, and we've had a couple phone conversations as well. The last meeting that we had, she had a representative in there from Exim Bank, going over all the details of how Exim Bank can help, whether it's capital financing or whether it could be insurance for doing business overseas or internationally. So that was an excellent educational meeting.
How about you, Maria?
Yes, definitely. Having access to being here in Dallas, it has been super helpful to go to the Comerica Business HQ, not only benefit from all the programs, the international cohort. This has been like an amazing opportunity. It's more than, like tangible, something that definitely has the potential to make a huge impact and difference in our businesses. Take it global. That's, you cannot ask more than that, right? So it's a dream come true pretty much. The opportunity to work from the Comerica Business HQ, we even got the support getting a line of credit that was super instrumental at the beginning of starting this business. So they have been amazingly supporting in terms of resources, facilities, and they're just the gift that keeps on giving.
I love that so much. Okay. And so, do you guys have any goals? I know you're in business, you're learning, you're growing. What are some goals that you're trying to accomplish, either short term or long term?
So you want me to go, Karen? Of course.
Sure.
The main one right now would be to complete the international trade cohort successfully, able to understand and leverage as many resources as possible, and definitely, even if we don't have the product in the market by next year, at least start going to this trade show. Particularly right now, we have this idea to going to Canada and explore all these different markets and get in the swing of things. That's one of the, I would say, short-term goals. We're also working with our natural sweetener. We are working with the Health Science Center from the North University of Texas and applying to a grant for the National Health Institute. And the deadline is in September. So we are working day and night with them. So that's one of the term, long, short-term goals that we have in mind, and that will be a game changer for us, right? If we get studies on our sweetener and how they react in terms of metabolic stuff and the possibility to have it for weight management or diabetes management, that would be one of the biggest highlights. That would be rather short term.
Nice, good stuff. How about you, Karen?
Yeah, for me, my goals are along the same as Maria's. For the short term, invest the time and effort into all the different ways that I can take advantage of this grant and use the funds to grow our international sales. On the slightly short term, but a little bit longer, would be to join the $1 million revenue club by the end of next year. So that is a big goal. But then a little bit longer, within 5 years, we'd like to double our current revenue.
Nice. Okay. I love these goals. I gotta figure out mine now. All right. And so, lastly, I want to talk about because both of you have mentioned, as far as community and networking, people putting you in the right places at the right time. Let's talk about
Yeah.
networking and what does that mean for you in your journeys that people have connected you here, people have connected you there. So, let's talk about that because I do want the listeners to understand how much community and networking really is when it comes to having a business.
I've done a lot of networking in my 16 years. I've networked with BNIs. I've networked with different types of chambers of commerce in the area. They've been instrumental in some of the personal development, not only on a personal side, but like a business development side of things as well. Learning to public speak, perfecting certain things when you're in front of people, ways you can sell. You know, you got to sell yourself first, and ways you can make connections, and the ways you sell your product. Definitely instrumental in where I find myself 16 years later.
How about you, Maria?
Definitely networking. That is vital, right? To when you are in business is something that you cannot get away from. And what I have noticed is that you have to learn to become very intentional because sometimes if people you need to go there, here and there, and then you go there and you ended up realizing that probably that's not the the audience or the place where you really needed to be. And unfortunately, as like we mentioned, as entrepreneurs, you have limited time, right? You have your limited your time is in very short supply, and you have to really leverage that. And I have learned that sometimes going to certain events to become more intentional in terms of networking for sure, and really paying attention where I'm going and understanding what impact is this event going to have in my business, and what impact can I have on the people that I'm going to to have contact in that particular situation or place.
Awesome. All right, ladies. Well, do you think I missed anything? Is there any parting words you want for the guests? Any type of advice? Anything of that nature?
Just keep going. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail probably more than a couple times. You got to learn from those failures. You got to take what's working. You got to make sure you're focusing on what's working. And if it comes to a time that it doesn't work, you got to reconfigure, pivot, and get to what does.
I appreciate hearing that, Karen, because sometimes that's one of the biggest hurdles, right? You start getting all this momentum, and it's exciting sometimes, and then you go back home and then you put all your emails together, all the resources together, you start reaching out, and then after a couple months, well, the deal doesn't go through even though it was very promising. It can be really heartbreaking, and it's like how to get up from that situation, learn like Karen mentioned, and keep moving forward and going at it stronger.
I love that. Well, you guys, ladies, dropped a lot of gems today, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks
Uh,
for having us on.
Yeah,
you're
thank you
so
so much.
welcome. For sure. Well, I want to thank you, ladies, for coming on and just joining and sharing your stories today. And I want to thank you for everyone that's listening. If you're listening to this morning, noon, evening, or night, thank you and have a good one. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us for another episode of What's Good podcast with your girl, Brianna Jovahn. If you found today's discussion inspiring, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on your preferred podcast platform. Explore additional resources on our website at whatsgood-productions.com and find our social media links listed in the show notes. Stay tuned for more captivating stories ahead. Until next time, stay blessed and keep uplifting your community.